In the news this week, plans for an equality oath come under fresh criticism, a teachers' union calls for 2-year-olds to be taught about LGBT issues, and how we'll be equipping Christians for the general election. Hello. The Christian Institute has issued a fresh warning over plans for an equality oath, as it appears the government is pressing ahead with the idea. Cabinet Minister Sajid Javid has expressed support for an oath which teachers, doctors and other public office holders would be forced to swear. It has now been reported that in recent weeks the minister's officials have held meetings with interested parties on the issue. But Colin Hart, director of the Christian Institute, said the government needs to come clean about whether people will be required to swear an allegiance to equality law. It's particularly troubling for the millions of Christians in our country that the government seems to be happy to airbrush God out of the oath. We are still a constitutionally Christian country, and to forget this is a real slap in the face. A government spokesman declined to comment. The National Union of Teachers has called for 2-year-old children to be taught about homosexual and transsexual issues. At a conference in Cardiff, NUT delegates passed a motion calling for compulsory teaching of LGBT issues throughout all phases of state education, including in nurseries. Teachers also complained that parents and faith schools might be allowed to opt out of teaching on such issues under government plans for relationships education. Kieran Kelly, head of communications at the Christian Institute, said the NUT's calls pose a danger to children.
It's a tragedy that there are so many people desperate to inflict the adult world on children at the earliest opportunity, with no concern at all as to the damage it can do. And it's particularly worrying that this is being pushed by teachers who actually have a special responsibility for protecting children. Toddlers are far too young to understand these issues, and confronting them with propaganda on homosexuality and transsexualism will confuse and upset them. The NUT need to let children be children, instead of exploiting them to pursue their own political agenda.
Deaths from euthanasia rose by 10% in the Netherlands last year, an influential medical committee has reported. There were 6,091 euthanasia deaths in 2016, compared to 5,516 the previous year, according to the Regional Review Committee. Dutch media reports say the practice now accounts for 4% of all deaths in the country. The committee found that the rules for euthanasia were not followed correctly in 10 cases, usually because a second doctor was not consulted. Earlier this year, a Dutch doctor escaped punishment after euthanizing a dementia sufferer against her will. The authorities admitted that the doctor had crossed the line by giving her the drug and should not have persisted after she showed resistance, but still cleared them of wrongdoing. And finally, on the 8th of June, the country will go to the polls in a general election. The Christian Institute is already working on resources to help inform your vote, so look out for them in the coming weeks. And follow us on social media using the hashtag #MyChristianVote as we shine a light on the party's stances on important issues. The Bible commands us to pray for those in authority, so as politicians across the land seek our votes, let's use this opportunity to pray for godly leaders. Well, that's all for this week. For regular updates and information on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.